Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite money man in a hoodie, and first recording in the new house, as you can see. Boxes! Those of you who are frequents of the channel, you know that there's always at least one unpacked box sitting in the recording room. All right, so here's the deal. Today we're talking through the Ramsey Baby Steps. You can go to RamseySolutions.com to find these. We're going to talk through these one at a time. Today we are going to cover step one, which is save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. Now, that number is very important, or that number, that statement, the way that it's worded is very important. This is not your permanent emergency fund balance, okay? $1,000 does not cover a lot, and it's not meant to cover a lot. I saw a video not too long ago. Dave was doing a live event with some of the others, and he was asked by somebody in the audience, because of inflation and the rising cost of everything, have you considered raising the baby step one up from $1,000 to like $3,000, since $1,000 is not enough money in 2023? And Dave just kind of looked at it without even thinking. He just immediately said, $1,000 wasn't enough in 2001. That's the whole point, is like, this is not meant to be your permanent emergency savings. You know, this isn't supposed to cover, hey, my car broke down and is completely dead and I need to get a new car replaced right now. That's not what this is for, okay? That would be your later emergency savings or your planned expense money, okay? That would be if your car like completely breaks down and you need to replace it immediately. That would be the baby step 3, saving 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency. That's where that number is supposed to come from, okay? $1,000 isn't supposed to do that. $1,000 is supposed to cover some of the basic things that you absolutely need. The starter on my car went out, which happened to us just this past week. The starter on our car went out. And the car will still run and the car will live for a while longer, but at the moment, we need a little bit of money. Sorry for that sound, guys. We need the money to be able to replace the starter, and we had that money set aside. Or let's say that 2 tires go out and one of them is completely shredded and needs to, or let's say the refrigerator dies on us. Well, you gotta keep food, so. You know, it's for emergency necessities, okay? Necessities is where baby step 1 comes in. So it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be massive. Now, to the person's credit, $1,000 is not a lot of money, okay? It really is not a ton of money. So why is it even in the baby step? Well, the reason is because, first, it's something very easy to do. Think of it like actual baby steps. Think of it like baby milestones. I've got a baby right now, so this is fresh on my mind. So, like, you know, the first thing when the baby's born, first thing it does is it learns to breathe on its own, and then it learns to eat, and then it learns to be completely reliant on mom. Mom is good. Mom is life giver. Mom is food. See, all these. Mom is the source of life for the infant. Okay. Now, after that, baby gets a little bit older, and baby gets head control. And then baby gets a little bit older. Baby can now roll from back to tummy, tummy to back. And then baby learns how to start scooting and crawling. And then baby learns how to sit up. And then baby learns how to stand. And then baby learns how to walk. And then all of these things, they're piece by piece by piece. And if the baby does them out of order, it's going to cause some problems. It's either going to be unsafe for the baby, or it's going to cause some developmental problems later on, until that is rectified. You go back and you fix that step that was missing. Okay, well, we skipped the sitting phase and tried to go straight to standing up, so we need to go back and get the kid to learn how to sit. All right, think of it just like that. These are baby steps because these are small steps that you can take at a time. Now, why is it in the baby steps? This is why. You can go to Bankrate and you can find this article. Let me make sure that you guys can actually read it. And I'm going to move my face to the other side so that I am out of the way. There we go. And boom. Cool. All right. So, uh, when you're starting an emergency fund, okay? The reality of having an emergency fund is many people don't have it, okay? How to start and build an emergency fund is the article. You scroll down here and you get some pretty depressing statistics when it comes to money stuff. So the first one here, more than half, 51% of people have less than 3 months worth of savings in an emergency fund. Now, baby step one is below that. Baby step one is $1,000. $1,000 is not going to cover 3 months of expenses. But here's where it gets really wild and why it's baby step one. If hit with an unplanned $1,000 expense, 44% of people would pay it with their savings. That's good, compared with 20% who would pay it with a credit card. What is that nasty thing that credit cards have? Interest. That's right. Interest is not fun. And especially because most credit card interests are over 20%. It's ridiculous. So you pay $1,000 on a credit card and you're not able to pay that credit card off before. I mean, we're talking an extra close to $200 in interest that's going to get piled on if you don't pay that off. All right. So 20% would have to pay it with a credit card. 15% would pay it, but would have to cut other spendings. You should already be doing that. 10% would borrow from family or friends. And 4% would have to take a personal loan. That is pretty rough when right away we're seeing this. Just adding up the people that are having to do this with any type of debts or loans whatsoever. We got 20% on a credit card, up to 30% if you add borrowing from friends and family. 34% said that they would have to take some kind of a loan. That's not good. $1,000, that's why this is baby step one. So that when something like that comes out, the refrigerator goes out, there's something wrong with the car will still run, but this thing has to get fixed in order for it to run. That's what the $1,000 is there for, and that is why it is baby step one. And why else is it a big deal when someone comes up and they say, well, $1,000 isn't enough? Well, let's flip over to this other article from Bankrate. Bankrate's 2023 Annual Emergency Savings Report. Scroll right down here to the key statistics on emergency funds and personal savings. Right here, fewer have no emergency savings. 22% of U.S. adults have no emergency savings at all. 22%. Now, granted, while it is saying the second lowest percentage in 13 years of polling, that's still bad. 22%. We're talking like 1 in 5 adults. That's 1 in 5 families don't have any emergency savings at all. Having $1,000 laying around you can throw in an emergency problem, that's a big deal. That's a big deal in being able to fix your finances. That's why it's baby step one. You need to start somewhere. You need to start and have something set aside that you can throw at an emergency. And for 22% of people not being able to do that at all, that should be absolutely terrifying. So the next time somebody comes to you and says, hey, this whole Dave Ramsey thing is stupid. No, I mean, $1,000 isn't enough. Well, $1,000 is better than 22% of people who have none. And let me just go back to make sure I'm getting those numbers correct. 56% who would have struggles paying a $1,000 expense. If you do baby step one, you're doing better than 56% of people in the US. That's why it's baby step one. And when you've got baby step one in place and you can punch life back when it hits you in the face, then you're able to move on to baby step two, which we will cover in next week's episode. I don't know if it'll be next week. I guess it's going to be next week now. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.